Good evening, everybody. How is it going? Good evening, Icarus. Good evening, Tatter. How are you guys doing? Back today with some more Evil Dead. No, not save. More Evil Dead Regeneration. We got the illustrious, the illuminous, the indispensable Bruce Campbell playing Ash. Eating dinner, reading Iron Man comics? Hell yeah. What you eating? What you reading? Well, I mean, I know you're reading Iron Man, but like, what of Iron Man? Read it. Tell me as if I don't know anything about Iron Man outside of Marvel movies. Because I don't. Okay, I'm just leaving. And some pesto pasta? That sounds good. Oh, I might make it. No, I died. I've got a nice little snack set up over here. I'm eating like a Roman emperor. I've got, well, I was eating like a Roman emperor earlier. I was eating, got a rotisserie chicken, so I pulled some chicken off of that. Eating some, we got this like nice Italian bread that's covered in olive oil and rosemary. Delicious. And then I was eating some cherry tomatoes with it. All of it was fantastic. I'm from 2012. Alien robot made a deal with Iron Man's dad to make it extra smart in space tech. Make sure he was smart enough to protect the Earth from space gods. Do you go too sad, Neil? Oh, I missed that part. Not sad, you're just making a point. Well, I'm glad you're not sad. Alright.
Yes! I think this jerk's trying to get romantic! Oh yeah!
Alright, let's make a little space and... not where I wanted you to land.
Damn, that felt good.
Ribeye steak and air-fried homemade crispy hash. Ooh.
Good riddance.
Careful. You say that 3 times, Catcher's gonna show up at your domicile looking for food.
You know, 10 to 1 says that hurt. Hurry up! Before this wolf stomps my face! Hey, Ish! I got him! I got him! Oh! See you in hell.
Alright.
No! Ashero! I got this chump on lockdown! Is that the best?
Could he be dead now, please? Oh my god, he's dead. Spaghetti with meat sauce? Very nice. You definitely had extra hash browns. Buddy, you keep talking like that, I'm gonna show up. Any G bread? No?
Hey, lucky day.
Oh, G bread. I know what you mean, that garlic bread with the spaghetti. Pissing on the miners. The kind that work underground, not the other kind.
What the hell is that? Could come in handy. That is, if it works.
Oof. Big oof store.
Oh, sorry. Slipped. Yeah. This could come in real handy. You want some?
The only sure thing in the universe.
Hold on. I gotta do something real quick. About the resin. Damn, that's rough. Oh no, I understood what you're saying, Tatter. Ow, okay, dynamite hurts.
And stay dead.
That's right, baby. Back from the grave.
Alright, he's up here. I hope for your sake, man.
That had to hurt.
I'd be upset as hell. In space building a god killer. That reminds me of a video. I want to make a video essay about this. I've kind of mentioned it a couple of times in the past. Oh my god, I remember dying from these things. Oh my god, stop it! Hold on, I have to know if I'm going... Okay, well, I died. Those things killed me twice now. They hurt so bad. Well, yeah, Store, it sounds like you probably should mess with it before you try a print of something important. Yeah, the gargoyle things. They hurt me. They hurt me deep. I think we might pull a little 2024 save magic up here so I don't have to do this every time. But no, so on the subject of like Tony Stark building a god killer, I want to make this is something I want to do at some point. I'm putting together like notes and thoughts for it. I'd like to do it. Let me put it like that. It would be cool to do so. I want to make like a long video about like on the subject of gods in fiction. Because like he's making a god killer. How do you kill a god? And just go on like a big rant about like Lovecraftian entities that are labeled as gods, old ones, great ones. Things from like Blasphemous, possibly Marvel.
Want to see a potty trick? Give me a watch and $20.
I never thought I'd have something in common with a Jedi, but we all seem to want to crack your skull.
Well, it'd more be on just like on the subject of gods, like that. Oh, hold that thought.
He is! I think this jerk's trying to get romantic!
Okay, sorry about that. But cat food was going off.
You know what? You're
Basically anytime they come up in any fictional media like this, like just for example, Bloodborne. Bloodborne, hold on, I need to, this is bugging me. There's a boss you fight towards the end of Bloodborne called Eberitis, Daughter of the Cosmos. She is, for all intents and purposes, a god. And you fight her and you kill her.
Hey, lucky
And
dip.
nothing happens. Nothing really changes. Like, things happen, but they don't happen. And it's just always, like, kind of been on my mind for, like, a while. Just, like, what constitutes a god? How do you just kill that god? Are you even killing them? Are you capable of killing them? If a god is dead, does it stop being a god?
What the hell is that?
Could come in handy.
And also, Store, on that note, I look very similar to how I looked in high school, except I have a mustache now. If I didn't have the mustache, I look like I'm 23.
Oh, sorry. Slipped.
Some scissors and good hair. So when are you gonna get the second half of that?
Yeah. This could come in real handy.
That was a little mean.
Let's see what you got.
left for you.
Oh, let me get a napkin. But yeah, and it's like, okay, does a god only exist in our three-dimensional space? Or that is a weird thing for people to randomly bring up to you.
But hear it. Good riddance.
Well, it's like, so he's never explicitly stated as a god in the Stephen King universe. Well, he might be, actually. I'm not super familiar. But so, like, an example of this. Well, yes, but... Oh, that was wrong.
Felt good.
So, in Bloodborne, with Eberitis, Daughter of the Cosmos, when you fight her, when you kill her, you don't actually kill her. You kill her physical representation on Earth because she actually lives in space somewhere. Okay. Now, hold on. I gotta put up this screen for a second while I do some 2024 magic. hold on. Not done. In the Stephen King universe, Pennywise, the clown, is actually just the earthly representation of Pennywise, an entity that exists in space. Okay, A, store, you misspelled it. It's Ganja. Not, it's ganja, not ganja. May have been while reading the comics. Well, hey, Katra. We're just playing video games. And discussing things. So I've not been thinking about this all evening. I have been thinking about this for months. Just overall. But it's like, okay. So you say God exists between dimensions. They're here and they're there. They're in the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension. Right? Have you ever heard of Flatland? And yeah, I'm not a sock today either. I was mostly dressed, you know, as is, pajamas, a robe.
Suck on that. See you in hell.
Don't knock me off the cliff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm good.
Okay, now let's
That had to hurt.
Alright, see, we doing good. We fine.
Hey, look! A way in! And a broken track!
Well, it's not even just in mythology, just in fiction in general.
You know, come to think of it, dying is your territory, Runt. Why don't you go first?
Can a little dead dude get a break?
You're usually a bit hand wave. Well, yeah. But it's also just, I don't know, it's an interesting subject to me. An interesting idea.
Ash, if you get a chance to pull your head out of your butt, I'm over here!
You don't shut it, I'm gonna beat you like a rug.
Okay. What do I do about this? Oh, there we go. Okay. But yeah, it's just an idea I've had rattling around in my head for a little while now, because I think it's kind of an interesting idea, like an interesting topic. Yeah, because, like... Hold on, one of her cats is going off. He just does this at night until I say his name, and then he's like, oh, okay, I'm good. Nope, he's going again. Unlocked an extra, hell yeah. Oh, thank God, that just starts me right back up here. Oh.
Here goes Ashy, he's our man. If he can't do it, the world will end and Sally will suffer a fate worse than death. And don't get going. What are you doing screwing around?
One more peep and I'll be mounting your rotten tongue on my wall.
So they just live in a different universe. So are they, like, all powerful? Do they do anything? Are they... So, when I was playing the Futurama game, there was... When I beat the sun god in his world, Leela's like, you're no god, and he's like, you got me. I'm just an immortal, omnipotent, super intelligent being. And I was like, well, if that's not a god, what is? But different macrocosm. And so there's an SCP, because I haven't read them in a minute, but I remember this one I thought was really neat. It's called the Deer. And what it is, it's this like, it's this being that is essentially a god for all intents and purposes. It can create things and has a mind of its own. It just looks like a really big deer.
Holy shit balls! Gotta get this damn... Ooh.
They're too dumb to ask those questions too. I kind of feel that, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a fairly philosophical
Well,
question.
world
Some
ain't
people
easy,
just
is
like don't. But anyways, like the thing that the reason I mentioned this, like SCP and all that, it was rampaging across the thing, like the planet or the world or whatever, killing people. I don't really remember. But they came up with this fairly unpleasant ritual. And the idea behind the ritual, like, at one point they asked to change it. They've been doing it for like a few years. The people involved don't like it. And they're like, we want to change, can we change this to literally anything else? And the guy who came up with it was like, no, because what you're doing is you're containing a god. And gods are creatures of rituals. So they abide by the rules of the ritual, but when we have to, too. Well, yeah, no, same. Like, similar thought I've had, Stuart. So there's a quote. I don't remember who said it. But it's basically, at a certain point, technology becomes indistinguishable from magic. So wouldn't the same hold true for divinity? Like, at a certain point, technology becomes indistinguishable from divinity. Like Galacticus who eats planets. I mean, if a dude who's out here eating planets doesn't quantify as a god in this scenario, what does? And then, so I'm a really big fan of the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. 10 out of 10 book series, highly recommended to everyone. There's a book in the series called Small Gods. Yeah. Give it a Google. There's like 40 books in the series. All of them are fantastic. Don't read book 1 and 2 first. So the whole series is set up where there's like 40 books. You can read them in any order. You do not have to understand what happened in the last book to make sense of what's going on now. That said, there are like recommended reading orders, but you can literally just pick one up and read it. It's great.
An old abandoned mine shaft. Now, isn't this cozy?
But anyways, in this book, Small Gods,
Stinky. Terrifying.
there's a god. Gods are fed by belief in them. The more people that believe in them, the stronger they are. So if there are no believers, they'll wither up and they'll die. They start as just like spirits in nature, and then, you know, maybe they like do something, a person starts believing in them, more people do, you know, religion is formed. And that's an interesting concept because, you know, it's like man creates his own gods. Okay, Tatter, I'm not gonna lie to you. Mort is one of my favorite ones in the series. Hands down. Even, like, I read them before I was streaming, but I was still Mortician of Faith at the time. It's the only sensible explanation for what's happening right now. Dude, I don't even think it's the sensible one. Nope. You don't. It's actually, most people who read the series, who have read the series, recommend not reading 1 and 2 first. I did, and they are wildly different than the rest of the series. So how it works for Discworld, there's one overarching series, the series of Discworld, and then there are like 5 or 6 sub-series within that series. So one of the series is about Death, who is a character in the world. One of my favorite characters. He's so good. And it's just like the kind of like the adventures of Death. Can't leave the Matrix. You know, the universe probably is a simulation. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's what makes the most sense to me. I'm kind of cool with it. It's whatever. Even if it's a simulation, it's real enough to me. Like, you know, ow. Ow, that actually really fucking hurt. Oh. But point, you know, proves my point. Dude, I slap myself all the time. What the fuck are you talking about? I slap myself to, like, psych myself up for a game. Or, like, a challenging part in a game.
And stay down.
But, like, one of the series is like the Night Watch series, which takes place with, like, the guards in Ankh-Morpork, which is the capital city in the Discworld. Or, like, it's a main city, let me put it like that. You know, why don't I just fight them normally now?
You know, 10 to 1 says that hurt.
Hurry up before this wolf stomps my face!
Hands off the little guy.
Good riddance. Oh, yeah.
Feeling lightheaded? Yo, that axe. Mind your own business. You get it?
Next time I'm gonna let the Deadites kill him.
Oh, good one, Runt.
But yeah, good book series. Idea I've been tossing around the old noodle.
Because when you go on the track, you get, it's an expression many people have used.
You know, you're starting to make me wonder if the world ending could be any more painful than listening to you.
I love Sam. He's the best character in this game.
Is that the best you got?
Oh, don't fall down. This ain't a all around the mulberry bush scenario. Ashes ain't happening here, Buster. But it's so good, I love it.
What's up?
That'll work.
You ordered it? Oh, damn.
There we go.
You got 3 of them?
He wants his face back.
Nice. I will say Mort is pretty short,
You know what?
actually.
Toast, ugly.
I'm pretty sure it's actually less than 200 pages.
Oh, I'm good.
It's huge. Oh, Star Wars 1. Fantasy story for... Yeah, old fantasy stories are massive. Now, I was watching a video on this the other day about, like, old fantasy, specifically pulp fantasy, or pulp fiction. They space the words a lot. About just, like, over-the-top barbarians riding in.
Is that all you got? I
That
didn't
kind of
break a
thing.
sweat.
And about, like, how it disappeared and why it's gone. It was really interesting. And how, like, a lot of it is... It's like D&D inspiring type stuff. Yeah, that's what this guy was talking about. How, like, so the reason a lot of it disappeared, it was published in, like, pulp magazines. Where it was just, like... You'd buy it and there'd be other nerdy shit in it. But there would be... Erica... No, yeah, you mentioned that the other day.
Peepers, you're bad. Come here, boy.
But yeah, basically because you just get it out of a magazine that had like a few stories and some nerdy shit, a lot of them weren't preserved. Actually, that's not true. You can get a lot of them online, like you can read a lot of them online for free. But most of them didn't go beyond any, like where they went, like where they started. And they're not bad, apparently. Just roleplay, no battling. Look up Disco Elysium. Very similar to that. It's a book of multiple tales. Oh, that's cool. Like a little compendium.
What the hell?
Disco Elysium. It doesn't take place in a like fantasy setting, but it is a role-playing game. It's an RPG where you play as a cop. There is zero combat. It's all like dialogue and role-playing.
Hello? That guy's beating the rot out of me.
Whoa.
It's not exactly what you were asking for. I don't know where he went. Oh. Like, it's not exactly what you're asking for, but it is very similar.
See you in hell.
I can imagine. Give me 5 potions for this cat I found. That's my cat!
No.
Well, you probably want him back then, don't you? Yeah, it's not exactly what you're looking for, but it's kind of in that vein. I think you might like it. I've personally never played it, but I know, you know, about it.
Look to me!
And to do Fentora.
You know, realistically,
Come on, stop dulling my blade.
oh, you could. I'm sure they exist. Oh, give me a little while. Like, not tonight, but, you know, give me some time. Don't let me forget about it. I bet I could have you some recommendations that are exactly that within a week.
Of all the dead runts in the world, I had to get stuck with you.
We'll ever be best friends.
Ever hear of a timeout? That means the next time you talk, I'm gonna knock you the hell out.
You can't do it? See, that's why you hire me. That's why you bring me on as the story guy. Ideas and stories, I help you. I'm just saying. We got music makers here. We got,
Sam, I smell
you know, we got artists.
Is that you or something else?
You basically got a full game company here, Store. Oh, I can't go this way. Okay.
Boys and gas? No sweat. Membership in Club Dead has its privileges.
Hey, boys! One ghost delivered itself!
And of course, I will help for free. Because I'm a nice person like that.
Alright, who was the wise guy?
And if we make a game for sale, we'll work out a deal where, you know, there's profit sharing.
Bury him through trash!
You know, I won't be unreasonable, but, you know, if the game makes $1 million, Daddy gets a new pair of shoes, if you catch my meaning. If you catch the drift. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. But no, I was gonna say, actually, I feel like no matter what kind of game you're wanting to play, I could probably make a recommendation that would be pretty well on it. He blew himself up, damn.
Whatever happened to camaraderie among corpses?
Peach. You reek of weakness.
Also fair and valid. Climb, climb! Okay, I actually gotta kill these guys, it looks like. Ugh. Ow.
Oh, that's great.
You don't need a full studio. That guy's dead, at least.
Newsflash.
We'll kill them piece by piece. You just need, like, most of a studio.
Oh, that's great.
I believe in you, Shore. You can do it.
Stop resisting the irresistible.
Nothing to lose your head over.
Cuts him to the prequel and goes full Sith Lord. Yeah. Yeah. It's not the best.
We need less anymore.
It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Admittedly, I think one's the worst with, like, the acting. And it's a shame because one has my favorite Jedi in it.
Lightheaded?
Qui-Gon Jinn. Philosophically, Qui-Gon is like one of my favorite Jedis. Because he's the only one that, like, makes any sense to me. Like, this dude does this wacky thing called listening to the Force. And, like, nobody else does. Like, other people do in a capacity.
Come on, Ash, tell me, who's your dad?
But, like, Qui-Gon's like, the Force tells me this. I can
How about
sense
less
it with
bitching
the
and more
Force.
fighting?
And the Council's just like... Mace Windu's like, I recognize that the Force has decreed that, but considering it's a dumbass decision, I'm going to ignore it. Or however he says that is Nick Fury.
Like I smell.
Yeah, come on. Keep running your mouth, Run.
And what happens to Mace Windu? He gets shoved out of a window.
Noli mean voce, ego te vo.
What's legendary? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. You know, and the crazy thing is,
Did you think you could defeat us?
for like one specifically, like episode 1,
See you in hell.
it didn't need to be that bad.
It looks like
I've read. Yeah. Well, hey, Stewie, you might as well hang out for a little bit longer, because I'm not going to be live a super long time. I'm just going to finish this level, which is the truth. Once I finish this level, the stream's going to be over, but you've been here for this much of it. Don't want to miss the end, right?
Oh, I'm good.
Find me a
Anyways, apparently George Lucas was asking for a lot of help making episode 1, but nobody would help him because they're like, what are you talking about? You made the other movies are great. You want help with 1? Why do you need help with 1? You got this. And like, he had a lot of help with 1.
Well, that's just plain mean.
Hey, where you been?
You're like, he still had a lot of help with the other ones. Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot of people describe it as. That he's not the best at telling, like, a specific story, but as creating, like, a universe. Which, honestly, is completely fine. Like, world building is hard, but super cool. Like, I love world building. If I have trouble sleeping, what I do is I will world build in my head. I'm just like, alright, let's create a world. There's like, you know, I'll work on one multiple times, like, consistently. Like, world building's cool, like, even if you can't
How do you expect to defeat something old?
tell a story with it. Put a pile of words somewhere. I mean, essentially. Like, are you actually asking what it is, or are you just like, haha, funny man? So I'll give you the haha, funny man answer. I just, oh god. Oh, because I'm weird and I can't visualize the world. Ha 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 ha, funny man. That kind of ha ha, funny man. Alright, I see how it is. No, you're good. Oh. So, no, I just, like, you don't have to visualize it. It is, actually, yeah, that's not a bad way to phrase it. Just kind of dumping a pile of words. Because I'm like, okay, this land is called this because of this reason. The people there migrated from this region at first, and then over the centuries became a new peoples. Hold on, I want a cookie. You know, just things like that. Well, the thing is, I feel like it works differently for different people, and it's one of those things that, from an outside perspective, it's really hard to understand. But, like, one way to think of it is, when you close your eyes, well, that's the key. You don't picture the individual thing. You don't picture the tree, you picture the forest. Kind of to circle back, imagine like you were a god of that world, looking down at it. Was born in a tough town. Mean streets. Came out on fire.
Look, I know you don't breathe, but try inhaling once in a while.
Hold on, let me try that in. He was born in a tough town, on the mean streets. He came out on fire. I feel better about that second take. So wait, are you saying you don't understand how not being able to visualize stuff in your head works, or are you saying you don't understand how world building works?
Sacrifice is beating heart to the Necronomicon!
That's what happens when you start building a world? Hmm. See, but then Tatter, I would argue you're not building a world, you're telling a story. A lot of the words you come up with involve fire. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
So you just do it. Hey Paige, what's happening? Well, that's a very philosophical question, Tatter. Does the world exist outside of the story? It depends, I would argue. Like, the world of D&D exists outside the stories of, you know, that take place in that world.
Over here, Paul Revere.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 16. Exactly, Store. Beautiful world, no story.
Yo, these goons are on me like stink on a stain.
Oh, yeah.
I should.
But yeah, no, so like to answer your question, so the world I'm currently like building in my head when I have trouble going to sleep. I don't have like a name for the world yet, but how it takes place is there's this main continent, and humans are kind of newcomers on it. It's a fantasy setting. Humans are kind of newcomers. There are elves, dwarves, and you just kind of build their society.
Then Trose and Naktu, Bientana E Sorin.
Like the humans, I just kind of have in a typical medieval society.
Eat my shorts.
The world of
Oh,
Mortia.
I didn't tell you to duck, did I?
I don't hate it. I ain't gonna lie to you, Paige. I don't hate it. I ain't mad at it. But I've also, there's some custom air quote races I've created. One is, it is a matriarchal society where there are like anthropomorphic elephants, rhinoceroses, and hippopotamuses. And in this, so they live in this isolated matriarchal society along a river in a like a not safari, like a plains type area. They have like a few small settlements outside of that. It's very like intricate, like so. Yeah, pachyderms. They're super long lived too. Like the elves are technically immortal in a sense, which I can explain. These guys are called I'm working with the name Ancients, but they're not gonna be kept as that because they live for like 500 years. Some of them will live longer, but for the most part, like 500 years is kind of the average. And one of the things is every race has their own form of magic that they're good at. Except for humans, which can kind of do a little of all magic, but they're not experts at anything. The age. But, so with the elves, even if they get murdered, the way it works is they still kind of come back, in a sense. Which, you know, we'll get into that in a minute. So, like, the Ancients, until I come up with a better title, are...
Nice.
They'll engrave ruins in their tusks or horns. So, like, elephants do it in their on their tusks. Rhinoceroses do it on their horns. Hippopotamuses do it on their like giant teeth they have on the front. That's kind of what happens. But we'll get into that story. Yeah, they're like, and what they are, they're elemental runes. So like, an elephant could carve the fire runes into his tusks, and then when he activates them, like his tusks are on fire. It doesn't hurt him, but it's like hurts other people. Free Fantasio is one of your favorite depictions. That's a game, isn't it? I think I've heard of that. So the humans in this world cause the fuck up that is like happening. But so the way it works with these ancients is, so the reason they're so they're like matriarchal out is because if whatever the race or the species of the mother is, that is what the baby will be. So like if an elephant and a rhinoceros got together and the mom was a rhinoceros, then the baby's going to be a rhinoceros. And they're like, ah, well, clearly, you know, matriarchal because of that. Did I just, like, pistol this guy from here? Okay, ow. Probably gonna die. Yeah. So, the way the elves are immortal, because you guys seem to want so the elves are like the typical, well, kind of typical forest dwellers, but instead of being based like some Art Nouveau, we are the elves, we are fancy, we smoke the fancy cigarettes, we are French elves, we are Art Nouveau, fancy windows. No, they're not that. They're more like Native American inspired. Because I read a thing a while back where when settlers first arrived to America, their minds were blown that there were these berry bushes conveniently located along forest paths. And I was just like, okay, that's a neat concept. What if you did that with elves? Because they were like, there's no way the natives cultivated berry bushes to conveniently grow along these paths in the forest. They couldn't do that, because, you know, racist Europeans. But so, that's kind of where, like, the inspiration for the elves. They'll have, like, a major settlement in the heart of this forest, and then they have, like, some nomadic caravans that kind of ramble around the forest, take care of things, druidic style. Hey, Ziggy Zags HD. Thank you for the follow. And thanks for playing earlier today, man. If you're here currently. I don't know if you're actually here, if you just followed and then ran away. But regardless. No, I haven't. But I know what you're talking about, the bunny people. I do remember that, yes. But the way they're immortal is there's a tree in the heart of their main settlement that has that it grows a special fruit essentially. So when an elf dies, the first baby that is born afterwards eats that fruit, and it's called, I think I called it like a soul fruit. They basically become that elf who died. The Vera? Okay. I say, if you have that memorized, I was gonna be hella impressed. But yeah, it's basically called a soul fruit, so when a baby's born, they like feed the babies the juice from the fruit. And the baby is that new elf. If a new baby is born before the there's no elves have died, and a baby is born anyway, then they just don't do the fruit, and that is like a new elf. But that's how they like achieve their immortality. So the trick for this guy really was just stay back and shoot him with a pistol a bunch. So they're oh god. So they're not like technically full-on immortal, but they are immortal in a sense of like even if you kill them, if you were to kill one, they would come back soon afterwards.
Sam.
Primo Vita Viti, Bang'em Hang'em Wang.
Bang'em Hang'em Wang. Ancient powerful magic.
Hell almighty!
Reinhardt has found Sally and my diary.
Ow. And then, like I said, we've got dwarves. I'll just go through each of them, how I'm like working them for you guys. The dwarves, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do it. So, how I like have them built currently, and I might change it later, is they are like a mostly authoritarian, isolationist, but they still welcome people in a limited capacity. So there is one city called the Dragon's Maw. Well, that's what it translates into, because, you know, every race is going to have their own language.
My God, where have you brought me?
But the way it works is, it's called that because it's a giant cave, and it's got stalagmites and tights, I don't know which is which, but it's got ones that go up and ones that go down. But they're massive. They're huge. Like, think like the size of the Empire State Building. Multiple like this in both directions, up and down. So the whole city is like built into and around these. So there's just like one of them was just like they're just like carved into buildings that go straight down or straight up. Or like if they meet, they're just one massive building. And that's the only city that outsiders are welcome in. And they have this massive tunnel network that stretches across like the continent that connects their cities together. There are possibly millions of dwarves. Nobody knows, because you're not allowed to go into their cities. You're allowed to go into the one, and they only have that one open for like trade and diplomacy. Like other people, like you can go there for other reasons, but there's nothing you can really do there. It's all like set for dwarves. Yeah, I wish I could picture things in my head because I really like the idea of that. I've said before, I think when I was playing one of the Jack and Daxter games, I love in fantasy or fiction where there's like the upside down cities where they build it into like the roof of a cave and it hangs down. That's why I like in Avatar The Last Airbender, I think it's the Southern Air Temple. Where it's like a giant upside down like monastery. I love that shit. Shoot that shit directly into my veins. I love it.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, we did
Nice
elves, we
part,
did
Joe.
dwarves, we did the ancients.
Hey, what I lack in season to make up for
Humans
it.
are just kind of your standard fare medieval society. I don't think I'm going to do anything wacky with them too much.
Oh, don't want to talk.
King, queen. Now, there's a reason they came to this continent. They've been there like 300 years in this
Away
story.
from me. I'm not here. Hello, I'm not here. I'm not here. That lips is zipped. Know what I'm talking about? Yep.
You know, you have a lot in common with the last guy who asked me so many stupid questions. Except that jerk managed to stay dead.
Might have been originally built card by them. That's cool. Yeah, I just love that like design for some reason. It tickles my monkey brain in a capacity that I did not know existed until I saw it. And then there's like there's a lizard people that I'm gonna set up that I've kind of built. Well, there's see, so for the lizards, I don't know if I want to set them up in a desert or a swamp. I haven't entirely decided yet. Oh, so yeah, I forgot to mention, the humans can do like a little bit of every magic. The ancients carve things on their tusks and horns and whatnot to do like elemental magic.
You get ambushed, just hold still. They'll think you're a garden gnome.
The dwarves do enchantment.
Is that the best you got?
So they like put magic into items. So if you wanted like a fire axe, the dwarves would make it. The elves are like druidic magic, obviously. Do a bunch of nature shit, help trees grow, harvest, help crops, things like that, you know. The lizards, they're gonna do summoning magic. So what they would do is, instead of carrying a sword with them, they would carry the hilt of a sword, and they would magically like summon the rest of the sword. But the way it works for them is you have to spend hours training with that sword. Because you can't just imagine in your head,
You know, 10 to 1 says...
oh, I have a sword, and then you have a
I'm ready
sword.
for him.
It's literally like... Oh, hold on. Like, you have to be able to know what that sword feels like in your hand, basically at all times.
Never stop sucking.
And they can't just, like... They have to have a hilt, at the very least. Like, you can't just, like, summon a sword for no reason. You have to, like, or with nothing. So, usually, like, you'd see them and they'll just have, like, a hilt on their side, and then they'll, like, draw it, and then there's a whole sword there. Like a magic sword. It is proficient if they know how to use, like, 2 or 3 different weapons, is considered, like, pretty proficient because they're like a militaristic society. But like there would be some of them that know how to use like 20 different weapons. They just pick it up faster than others.
Good riddance.
And then, holy shit, it's after midnight. I forgot I was gonna stop a little bit ago. Alright, well, we'll go until I get to a save. So I'm thinking they're gonna be in the desert. And how their city is set up is in cliffs. You've seen is it the Hopi Native Americans who built like that big intricate city into the side of a cliff? Oi, this again?
Not a big talker, eh?
Hey, how do I say shut the hell up and dead midget?
But yeah, it'd basically be, let's see, there's 3 cities like that in their like territory in the desert. And they're all like just built into the sides of cliffs. With like government infrastructure stuff on one side, civilian and stores and things like that on the other. So you have like the Capitol building, the barracks for their military, things like that are all on one side of the cliff.
Let's try some quiet.
And then on the other side is like
What
the
do you
housing, the
Is it
stores, the market, inns, things like that. With just like bridges spanning back and forth. Okay, man, I know what I have to do. Do I have to like walk up to this guy to trigger a cutscene or something?
We can't get by here without all the spirits.
Nope, okay. And there's a lot of different lizards. So there's like, you know, the small frilled ones that run really fast across the desert on like their hind legs? There's little ones like that, and they're like just use.
Would you mind walking downwind, Runt? Your stink is killing me.
I'm not sure where to go. Like, they're just used to deliver messages. Because they're small, they're fast, they're little messenger guys, so they just like, you'll see them running back and forth across the city, across all these different bridges and stuff. They can climb real well, so they'll like climb up the sides of buildings through windows to deliver like messages and things like that. And then you got like more standard.
Silences?
Can't you act like a normal corpse for just 2 minutes?
Where is
Just wanna know
anything?
what I'm thinking of. 237?
Oh, great. I end up with the one dead guy with mommy issues.
Okay, here we go. Ah, and a save. Perfect. But there'd be like, there's like alligators or crocodiles. Those are like the main population, we'd say. There's turtles or tortoises. Okay, but we'll continue talking about that at another time. That's just kind of like the one I've been working on in my head. I'll probably do it a little bit tonight before I go to bed to relax and help me go to sleep. Not that I need help going to sleep. I usually just pass right the fuck out. But if I don't, I'll be doing that. All right, I'm going to say thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. Exactly. And that's why there'll be plenty of variety with the lizard people. Yep, you guys have a great night too. Thank you so much for Ziggy Zags HD for the follow. And thank you for playing some Overwatch 2 with me earlier today, man. That was very nice of you. I will see you guys in the morning. Tomorrow's Thursday. We're going to be playing The Last Faith tomorrow and Friday. You guys have a good night too. Have a good night, Paige. Have a good night. Have a good night, Tatter.